Hey guys, welcome back to the newest video for Doc Lale Talks Comics. Tonight, I've got a doozy for you. It is bigger than life, and it is Batman, Second Night, issue number 2. So we have an oversized format book, almost like the Distillery books, and you've got Dan Jurgens as writer, Mike Perkins as artist, and Mike Spicer as the colorist. And what I love about these books is you get them presented in such bigger format than, say, a regular sized comic. It gives you much more of the original detail that the artist was trying to present, and it immerses you into the story in the same way that IMAX immerses you into a movie or a documentary or whatever it was shot, whatever was shot in IMAX. So you have the continuation of this early story of Batman, and in this issue you also get Superman because Lois Lane has blown in town from the Daily Star, and she brought her friend Clark Kent. But what really intrigued me about this book is the fact that you get the introduction of the Scarecrow. And Jonathan Crane is one of those characters like Hugo Strange or any of the other mad scientist type characters that always intrigued me in Batman's rogues gallery, because he's not a supervillain as far as super powered, okay? But he's got all these gases that can make you see your worst nightmare, relive the worst day of your life, brings out the fear, touches the inside of your mind, and brings out whatever it is that your deepest fears keep you, locked from an action. It keeps you trapped. Either you have to fight or flight, and you run. But between the Hangman and Scarecrow, it's a pretty potent double team here, and he ended up stitching the Hangman up after he had his battle with Batman. And so the Hangman's about to take his mask off, and the Scarecrow says, "No, keep it on there. I don't want to know who you are. I don't need to know your face or your name." And he said, and Hangman says, "Yeah, but you didn't answer my question. Why me? What did I ever do that you chose me to be the person that helps you with this mission of vengeance, this mission of just bringing down the lower dregs of society and bringing the ones that are in upper echelons of society down a few pegs? Why me?" And so Scarecrow says, "Because you terrify people. Your acts of killing do-gooders in such creative ways. You brought true fear to Gotham." And Gotham is one of those cities where it's modeled after New York City, but it's so much darker. It's so much darker than New York City was at the time that it was birthed. Now, these days, New York City still has a few gleaming bright spots, but it's gotten, pretty dark in its own right. But you get to hear the Scarecrow talk, and he says, think back to the Great War, back in, the First World War. Instead of gas that would affect the enemy's body, I developed one that would work on his mind. Soldiers were terrified of gas. Once stricken, they'd be unable to run, much less fight. They'd be ripe for the slaughter, and some would be so terrified that they'd kill themselves. So that's what I've always loved about the Scarecrow, is he is a character that, even though, like I said, he may not be able to go physically toe-to-toe with Batman on a purely athletic level, he brings such a dark energy whenever you see the Scarecrow. And this Scarecrow seems to be more realistic than what you normally see in the Bat books. But he wants to bring fear. He wants to bring out the little ghosties that live inside people's heads and their hearts, and what they're most afraid of. That's how he touches people. It's how he empathizes, how he finds his own way, is through touching their primal fear. And that makes this book so good. The artwork is amazing. Mike Perkins is a master, and it's a master class in composition, in figure work, in showing off the reality of things that are not real. So Superman, and even at the, towards the end, you have, let's see, where did that, you've got this 2-page spread where Superman is taking on this guys that have machine guns, and so they're firing, and they're like, it's got to be bad ammo. It's got to, this guy can't survive this. There's no way he can survive this. But you see the true power, the raw power, that you can't hurt Superman. And this is set, like I said, during the late 1930s, right before World War II kicked off. And it's excellent. It's fun. It's a time period piece, but this is the period that I really like Batman. If he had been written with such nuance, and the characters had been brought out with written for an older audience rather than just for kids. So, but let me know, are you guys checking this book out? Because to me, it's one of the better Batman prestige formats. It's a black label book, just like its predecessor was, the first miniseries. But this book absolutely captures who and what Batman is, and now we've got Superman coming in, just because Dan Jurgens likes Superman. But to see the Scarecrow and the Hangman, who are two of Gotham's most dastardly villains, in such a light, in big format, it's like going and watching the Lord of the Rings in 4K in IMAX, or Dune, or Superman, or something like that. It heightens those senses. You're already excited. You're already, hey man, this looks like a really great book. I'm going to pick this up. And then all of a sudden, you open the book up and you get to see what's inside. And it just, like I said, it just fires you on all cylinders. So this is bigger than life. This was Batman Second Son, issue number 2. You guys let me know in the comments what you thought. Have you guys been picking this up? Do you like these bigger formatted books, or would you rather just have a floppy, a smaller floppy that might be a little bit cheaper? Because this book was $6.99, but it's only, I think, only 3 issues. I think just like the first one, I think there was only 3 issues. So sometimes you should pay more if you can, if your budget allows, to get something in a bigger format, so that you can enjoy it, hopefully, even more than you would a regular size floppy. Guys, thanks for joining me on this. As you can't tell, I really, really love this book, and I hope you enjoyed this video. Don't forget to hit the like and subscribe. We finally hit 250 subscribers. Let's keep this momentum going so that I can bring more great content just like this to you guys. Guys, have a great day, and I'll catch you in the next video.